Surrounded by leather in my brand new fancy car, rolling with the top down, smoking on a fat cigar. Cool breeze in my head, bittersweet smoke flying through the air. It's the way I feel, smoking on a fat cigar. Look at sweet mama watching me play guitar.
Hi-ho.
Hello, everybody. That was Jeff Cigars.
Jeff Cigars?
That was
Jeff
Pitchell's
Favorite
Fat
cigar.
cigar.
Fat cigar.
Fat
Sorry.
cigar.
Fat favorite. It's fat favorite cigar.
For not just blowing smoke, coming at you live from Twin Smoke Shop Studio headquarters here in Londonderry, New Hampshire, right from the 724 Lounge. If you're watching this show live on Facebook or YouTube, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And if you're listening to it after the fact on Podbean, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Amazon, Google, iTunes, wherever you found this podcast, make sure you fit.
Make sure you fit it.
I'm tired. I'm tired today, guys. It's been a long, long weekend.
Only YouTube tonight. Facebook wasn't.
Wow.
Well, wherever you get it, wherever you stream it,
Everyone watches.
Make sure you
this
hit a
on
like.
YouTube anyway.
make sure you hit a like, baby.
YouTube's the big thing. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't ever miss a thing.
Ring that bell.
Pastor Padron. We've got Nicotine. We've got David and Confused. Pat is MIA tonight.
Yeah.
And
He got homework to do.
Yep, it happens in law school.
Yeah, lots of it, from my understanding, from what he's told me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you see him up here, on days after days after days of
If you were in law
study.
school and didn't get a lot of homework, I really wouldn't trust the law system like those people should.
I guess.
Should be burdened with study.
But Pat's
They need to know their stuff.
Pat's a very smart individual.
He is.
He'll
Yes,
get
yes,
it done.
he is.
So I mean, he's grinding hard, and he's got some promising internships, and he's got some promising future in being a lawyer for the industry. I don't
Yep.
know if
Yep.
if that's too soon to speak, but
No, I think he's made it public. So
yeah. So I mean, I root for him 100%, man, and I hope I hope one day we'll be able to have him on the show, and he can tell us all the crazy cases and stuff like that he works on, and he starts his own firm and
Be
everything like
awesome.
that. So, hopefully, man. But
But yeah, he announced it on Instagram. So
oh, nice.
I think that's
That's pretty solid.
pretty solid. I
Cool.
think we can say he's got an internship with the PCA.
Yeah.
And we're very happy for him, very excited for him, and
Yeah.
what's going on with that. And we have a big Drew Estate event coming up this week, and
Big.
in part because of that, we decided to do a review on the Liga Privada H99 Toro. If you go to Jonathan Drew's website, DrewEstate.com, or if you go to Half Wheel, you'll find a quote from him about this cigar. And he says, the H99 Connecticut Corojo is the triumphant result of hybridity, including traits
Hybridity.
of dysfunction, functionality, flexibility, adaptability, survival, replicability, and most importantly, procreation.
Procreation.
And after listening to that, you're wondering,
Are we smoking a cigar?
Yeah. Are we?
Like, what are we
you
doing?
know, in all my 26 years of experience as a tobacco man, I have never witnessed a tobacco hybridization with the depth and body of this stock cut Habano and Connecticut Corojo leaf.
Whoa.
So it is
Tall order.
it is a hybrid Corojo seed, and while I could not find anything confirming it, I believe the H stands for hybrid, and the 99 is the Corojo 99 seed.
It's
And it's a
even if you're wrong, it's still pretty good.
yeah, and it features a Mexican San Andres Negro binder and Honduran and Nicaraguan fillers. The Toro is a 6x52. This was the first cigar in that series that has been released. We now have the Robusto, and just lately we got the Papas Fritas version.
Yes, we did.
So it's a Corojo Habana hybrid. Wow. Okay, that just sunk in, realizing that they was both parts of the plants together. Like that's
Both parts of the plant?
well, never mind. Yeah,
It's okay.
parts
Dave.
of both plants. Whatever part they chose.
Well, it's a hybrid.
It's a hybrid.
You're
Well,
talking,
what do you do?
You're talking
They didn't
DNA,
just take.
Dave.
They didn't just. Well,
You
that's
make
what I
it-
mean.
You make it sound like they took the leaf from this one and
That's
the
usually
stock
how
from
you
this
do it.
one and put
That's
it together.
That's how you do it in when you're hybridizing. That's how they made seedless like freaking oranges. You cut the stalk off and you grow it, or like the stem, and you grow the fruit from that, and it won't bear fruit because it didn't, it wasn't from that.
Let's leave the
Like,
the hybrid
But like you
the
can,
hybrids to the
or
professionals,
like
Dave.
you take a branch off of one tree, cut some bark off on another species of tree, stick it there, and it'll literally grow out of it. And if it grows seeds on that branch, there'll be a hybrid, and you can grow it from that. And that's how you get a hybrid. It's really like Frankenstein.
Interesting.
Just saying.
Just saying.
Just saying.
So, Danny,
I mean, you can do the science and do all the freaking DNA stuff and mix the gene in, but it's a lot easier
I know
just
there's
to rip a
science.
stem
I'm
off.
just not sure that
stick it there.
the science
Lick it
you've
and stick it.
described as the science is actually involved in doing what's going on.
Probably not. No, but you can.
What is the pairing with this tonight?
we got some Buffalo Trace.
Buffalo Trace.
Buffalo Trace.
Buffalo Trace.
BT in the house, yo.
Oh, I love the room note on this.
You mean the nose?
The nose.
This is very delicious. Oh, yes. I mean, this is
We're
Joe.
not sounding very with it tonight.
No, this is Joe Rogan's favorite whiskey.
Oh, nobody's perfect.
I don't know. It's pretty good.
Pretty
stuff.
damn good. Doesn't
No, Buffalo Trace is good.
well, Buffalo Trace is good. Doesn't Blanton's get made out of the same distillery?
I want to say yes, but that's not my area of expertise.
I wanted to say yes.
Cigar Hack Dave is in the house, and he says yes, it is.
My favorite is Contradiction Bourbon Smooth Ambler.
That's a good one.
That's my ultimate favorite. Yeah, they're both around the same price point.
Those are not bad. I mean, the price point on this is like $50-$60 for a bottle up here in New Hampshire, and I mean it's damn good. I mean it's superb.
It's also very hard to find.
Yes.
Because
Daniel, what are you looking for? The show notes?
Yeah, I got him.
All right.
All right.
Let's kick
got
this
him.
off. Let's kick the shindig off.
Yep.
Let's go.
All right. So September 14th and 15th, we've got
Yep.
the Drew Estate event going on here at Twins, and it's from 5 to 7 over at Hooksett on the 14th,
4 to 7.
and over here at Londonderry on the 15th, it is 5 to 9. And there's going to be all sorts of specials and deals and swag, and
New
swag is Liga.
Swag-tastic.
The
Your brother's
swag,
gonna hit you with the ashtray in a minute.
the swag is based off of Liga 99.
Okay.
Okay, Liga 99. I can't talk.
H99.
No, it's just Liga. It's just Liga Privada. There's look.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Okay.
This show.
What do
sucks.
so? What do we? It doesn't suck.
It doesn't
What do
suck.
we have? What do we have for the swag? What kind of stuff do we have for the swag for the people that want to know and that are going to be coming to the event?
There's 09 and T52 cigar holders.
09?
Yeah, that's what they're calling it.
09.
They're calling it 09.
Okay.
09.
They're changing it up. All
They're
right.
changing it up. Right? There's watch boxes.
Watch
Watch
boxers.
boxes. Clocks with the T52 or number 9 logo on it.
Mm-hmm.
And there are also, I believe,
With their cigar stands?
cigar cutters.
Oh,
cigar cutters would go with that too.
Yep.
And I believe we're having a cookout or something, right?
I don't know. I've heard that from the event coordinator that
Well,
there might
you
be
guys
a little
probably
bit,
will. Well, we
might
won't,
be,
'cause
yeah,
training.
maybe that there might be some food getting cooked on the grill.
That would be awesome.
I heard that, and then I had to go to help a customer, so I didn't really finish that conversation with Ken. So hopefully, at some point in time, we'll be able to know for sure if we're going to have some sort of tailgate cookout type of deal.
Yep.
But that'd be pretty cool.
But I believe there are going to be some raffles. I know
Yeah.
that's true. We're
Yes.
giving away
Waffly.
a T52 humidor.
Oh, really?
Yep. We're raffling off a
Ooh.
T52 humidor.
That's nice.
That'll be fun. And all sorts of cigars. So you buy 5 cigars, you'll get a Drew Estate branded cigar. You buy 10, and you get 2 cigars, and then some more swag. You buy a box, and you get different stuff. You buy 2 boxes, you get everything. 2 or more boxes, you get all the swag. The watch box, the clock, the cigar stand, and the cutter.
What's the how big are the clocks?
They're wall clocks.
Oh, so they're Oh, excuse me. So they're
Easy.
huge.
Easy with the F-bomb, young man.
Fudging huge.
Yes.
It's fudging huge, bud.
Oh my goodness. So that's what's going on now. And that's why we chose to have this cigar tonight. We were going to have Nick Laramie on, but he's
Yes.
out of state. He had a friend who's not doing well tonight, and we went to visit him.
Hearts are
And,
with you, Nick.
Yeah, we're thinking about you and your friend,
Absolutely.
and hope everything turns out okay. I'll be honest. This is the first time I've ever had an H99.
Really?
This is the first time I've had this size. The only time that I had one last night, and it didn't really perform, and I was kind of upset because I like Ligas. The T52, the 9, I think the T52 is probably my favorite. But I had the Robusto, I was kind of excited, and it didn't perform, and I was kind of upset because I was like, damn, I was really looking forward to it. And it didn't perform, and it was kind of plugged, and it didn't burn well, and I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on with it. And I had I got it from the humidor, and I'm like, all right, that's not good. So I was really kind of looking forward to this, and this one definitely is
better?
100% better.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
my
draws
draw's
perfect. The construction, the burn line, everything. I mean, the taste is phenomenal. A little bit, I think it's a little bit more spicy but subtle than the T52. Obviously more spicy than the 9, but I mean, it's got some interesting complexity to it. And it's wonderful. Some earth, some spice,
Yeah, it's
some
like
sweetness. There's some come back to me on the last tasting note, but I mean, there's some really nice things going on with this thing, especially with the Mr. Buffalo whiskey here.
Yeah, no, it's pairing great with the Buffalo Trace. One of the things I love about Ligas is that oily sheen that's on all those cigars. I mean, it's just
baby oil.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
I heard they dunk them in
blue
baby
smoke.
oil
Well,
and vegetable oil.
let's not spread stuff like that around.
Blue smoke there.
But it certainly is. It certainly is very oily there.
Oh, I get like this rich, cedary, woody taste, and with a little sweetness, spice, a little earth and leather. It's just, and it's a very creamy and viscous smoke to me. Like it's a thick smoke.
Oh yeah.
I definitely think there's a lot more flavor in this, for me personally, than the 52s. I think the 9s to me are more like, it's like more like chocolate, like
Yeah.
cacao chocolate.
Cacao.
Cacao.
I see.
There's definitely a a good spice to this that the other two.
It's
Don't
kind of
have.
absent there. Yeah, this
Yep.
one definitely does.
I think it's part of the Corojo coming through. In
Oh,
it.
it definitely
of
is.
course, you're doing a Corojo. You're making
Habano
a
Variety. Yeah, I feel like you get
hybrid.
the creaminess from the Habano and you get the spice from the Corojo.
You can, yes.
Mhm.
I'm pretty sure that's kind of what they were going for. That's kind of a different thing on the market. You don't really see a lot of people trying to do a hybridization of a Corojo and a Habano. They usually just that's it. They just kind of keep them separate. But to do it and
I still
to be-
can't get over Jonathan's thing of it's the perfect balance of functionality and dysfunctionality. What does that mean?
even mean?
You know,
Yeah.
it's
you know
like,
what that means.
no, it's
probably-
supposed to be dysfunctioning like
I don't-
that.
I don't
That's
know.
exactly how I designed it.
It's like, I don't know. You know? It's like, I don't know, you know?
That
Perfect.
is
That's
what
it.
you just
That
said.
is
Maybe
it.
they were trying to go with something. Maybe they were trying to make something.
Out of nothing.
No, obviously they were trying to do something, but I mean, maybe this was not their intention. Maybe this was something that came from a mistake, and they said, "Damn, this is
knows?
actually pretty good. Let's run with it."
You put your chocolate in my peanut butter.
Ah,
And they're like, wow,
this works.
this works.
This
Oh, my
works.
goodness.
It could possibly end up like that, you know. So I mean, it's a beautiful mistake if that was the case in his experiment, I
Well,
suppose.
it's really good. I can
Yeah.
understand why people. Are hot for these. Very nice, very creamy, like that you said, Dave. There's a lot of cedar notes and spice on it for me. And the burn on this one is perfect.
Mine's perfect.
You know,
Absolutely.
So, very good. Let's do the 724 flashback.
724 flashback.
The 724 Flashback, a weekly segment highlighting historical events brought to you by 724 Cigars. Smoke a piece of history. And there was no need to look around for what to do tonight.
Obviously.
It was 22
Never
years
forget.
ago today, on
22
September
years
11th,
ago?
that the 9/11 terrorist attacks happened. 4 hijacked planes. 2 of them went into the 2 of the trade towers. 1 hit the Pentagon, and a 4th that was supposedly heading to strike the White House or the Capitol crashed because the
Passengers.
Passengers.
Said, hell no.
said no way, and it was the best and worst, kind of a thing. The worst and the worst terrorist event attack on U.S. soil, and yet we all came together that day and helped people. I mean, it was amazing. I lived in central Jersey at the time, about an hour
really?
outside of New York City. So for people living in New Jersey, it was really bad because New York's an hour to the north.
Yeah.
The Pennsylvania, where the other plane went down, to the south. The Pentagon was, Pennsylvania was to the west, and the Pentagon was to the south. So everything was happening all around us, and you could see the smoke rising from New York,
Wow.
where we were, even though we were like 50 miles away from New York.
Wow.
It was crazy. And remember, there were those anthrax attacks,
Yep.
too. You remember that in the
Yep.
post office? That was the post office where we got our mail.
Oh man.
I remember a year or so later getting a package of irradiated mail.
Oh man.
And them apologizing for it being radiated. But yeah, it was nuts, crazy, very weird times.
Yeah, I was in freshman year. I was in freshman year of high school.
Of high school.
Yeah, it was 2001. Right?
Yep.
Yeah, I was in freshman year of high school, and we heard about it, and I didn't think that it was real. I thought somebody was, because I heard it from a couple of friends, and I thought it was a joke. I was like, that's stupid. What are you guys talking about? And then, I mean, they made, the principal made the announcement that everybody stays in their classes. There was a national emergency, and the TVs that we had in the classrooms came on, and it showed the news, and it showed the second plane going into the tower. And we all like, oh my God. And everything just stopped. And we continue watching it. Then they shut off the TVs because it was just, you saw people coming, jumping out of the buildings and stuff like that. So they shut off the TVs, and then they made the announcement that everybody needed to go home. So we went home, and it was, ooh, man, was that a day? That was crazy.
I was
That was
painting a
crazy.
house.
You were painting a
I was
house.
painting a house. I was working painting a house, and we were listening to it on the radio. And we asked our boss if we could go home. And he's like, "Nope, keep painting." He kept painting.
Yeah,
So,
man.
That's what it was.
You got to keep
Yeah,
working.
keep working. Yep.
Wow, that's crazy, man. How many people lost their lives in that thing?
It's
man?
almost 3,000, I think.
Oh my God.
And not to mention after the
Oh,
the
yeah?
firefighters and police and
Yep.
other people that helped
Yeah.
that just died because of smoke inhalation
Yep.
and everything else.
Yeah, and
there.
all the chemicals and
Yeah,
everything that
all the-
were
yeah.
involved in the building and stuff
Yep.
like that. I mean, there was still, there's still people living with lung damage, firefighters and police officers that are still trying to, get better or whatnot. But I mean, it's crazy, man.
Yeah, very,
Steve
very.
Buscemi quit what he was doing to go down there and help because he was a
Well,
firefighter.
yeah, I think it was he just retired. From the story that I heard, he just retired from the fire department in New York. He was gaining traction being an actor, and what did he that day handed in his badge, and then he saw the the towers get hit, and he went back, and he jumped on the truck that he worked on, the fire station that he worked at, and he went and helped helped out. But that's crazy too, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
So like literally everybody who could help helped. And it
Yeah.
was just awesome to see. Like, didn't matter all walks of life, all professions. Everybody was, like
Oh yeah, they
trying
were
to
willing to. Yeah, they were willing to get down there and to do what they can. I mean,
At the time, I was working at a little Taste of Cuba
Yeah.
cigar shop in Princeton, New Jersey. We sent boxes of cigars down to the firefighters and policemen. And we had one regular guy who actually was the guy who would bring the boxes down there. He had a this is going to sound weird. He had a porta potty business, but they had to set all that stuff up. These are
Yep.
the things you have to set up in order to
Yeah.
have everybody working down there. And so he would come back, every week, and people will have donated stuff, cigars and,
Yeah.
and things, and we donated stuff from the store ourselves because you could at the time. Thank you very much. But he would come back and give us updates about what he saw and what happened, and like seeing buckets,
oh wow,
with ears are in this one, feet are in this one,
Wow.
that kind of thing, where
That's
just
crazy.
collecting everything and
Oh,
just how
wow.
horrific the whole thing was.
jeez.
It was crazy, and
Imagine being the person who had to sort that stuff. Oh,
yeah, and people did, and it took forever.
Oh God, yeah, man.
Crazy,
Oh,
But we all, here it is. There aren't that many times I think in your life where you can think back and remember what you were doing at a particular event on a particular day.
yeah.
This
I
is
mean,
one of those things.
I mean,
We
all
knew
of the
I
young.
was
it's
at
like
work
that
myself.
when
you
the
were
space
painting a
shuttle blew up.
house.
Like, remember that's the only other day.
I
where it's just
was,
like-
but I wasn't. I don't think I was alive then. Oh, when did it happen?
It was what? It was 80 something.
When the
Like
shuttle.
in the 80s.
Yeah, I couldn't
90s.
probably remember that, but yeah, I mean that event.
No,
I
I
mean,
was in high school, so
all
I think
the
it was
kids,
84, 85,
all the kids
86 maybe.
that were born after 2001. I mean,
I was in
they have
middle
no
school.
idea.
I want you fact check it,
I'm gonna-
Dave,
That's what I'm going to
instead
do
of
right now.
just throwing stuff out like you know what you're talking about.
I mean, man, and then that sparked a huge influx of of people signing up for the military because I was going to do that. I had that urge to, even though I was a freshman at the time, I mean, getting out, I was playing football through high school and I wanted to do the whole college thing and play football. And I'm like, man, I don't have no money and I don't have any, I'm not able to get any scholarship or anything like that. So the whole thing at that point was it seemed right because of school and, yeah, to join the fight. Because at that time it was 2002, 2003 was kind of ramping up for a lot of the military action in overseas. So at that point, I mean, they were in my high school. I mean, when I was graduating in 2003, in my high school, there were recruiters. I mean,
Oh yeah.
they were everywhere. And people were I saw a couple of people, man, just signing at the dotted line, man. They were 17 and a half, 18 years old. They were just signing on the dotted line. They're like, let's go. And I was very tempted. And then I decided not to. And I was like, I'll go the other route.
What made you decide not to? Just curious. I don't question your patriotism. I'm just curious.
I was around 2002, the beginning of 2003. I was just getting into conspiracy theories about Vietnam and the Cold War and the deep state, and I was like, I may not want to be involved in this. So, yeah, I was a little hesitant to say the least. So, but yeah, I mean, it was what it was. I went off to college. I played semi-pro football for a long time. And, yeah, I don't think I regret it. So, I was in law enforcement, so it was the next best thing, I suppose.
Yep. Nope. Nothing wrong with that at all.
No.
Did you find anything, Dave?
Yes, it was January 28th, 1986.
I was 1 year old.
I was in elementary school. I remember them wheeling the TV in because we were watching it. And then we saw it blow up because we were, actually watching it take off.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Wow.
Yep.
I do remember being in my science class watching that happen with Mrs. Breen.
Mrs. Breen.
Oh boy. Yep. But another example there. I remember where I was at that point, but you were.
I was almost one.
Yeah.
So
you're excused from.
I did not
where
remember.
you were.
Yes.
Yeah, but 9/11 is one of those dates where I haven't talked to anybody who can't remember what they were doing when that happened.
Yeah. I mean, that's a huge historical moment for the United States. I mean, for the world, for that matter. Yeah. I mean, it happened in the biggest city in the world. So, I mean, it's a worldwide event. So, I mean, it's crazy. And the world, I mean, after that, I mean, the United States went on an assault in Europe, not Europe, but
not Europe at all.
Not Europe, but
not even
overseas.
that continent.
No, but I mean,
Middle East.
but the assault. I remember watching TV and watching on they had it on the news where they said they found Al Qaeda and stuff like that and the Taliban or whatnot, and they were just bombarding a town and it was night vision cameras and stuff like that. I mean, the hellfire that was going down on that town. Yep. I mean, nothing could have survived what I was watching. It looked like a video game of modern warfare. I was like, oh my God, that is insane.
Inspired so many of those games.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, the AC-130 vision. I mean, night vision. The whole nine. I mean,
it was wild watching those. Firefights.
Yeah, it was crazy watching. The news channels put that on there, saying,
almost like Star Wars with the tracer rounds.
Oh yeah, it was crazy, man. It was just I was just blown away.
Very true.
Blown away, man. But my heart goes out to all the family members that lost people
Yep.
in the towers, in the planes. And both of those planes came, or all three of those planes flew out of Logan, didn't they?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
The 4 planes did, yeah. And you know, I had I didn't have any friends who personally, died, in the trade towers, but I did have friends who worked at the trade towers, and I did have friends who, knew people who worked who did die. One of my friends, his dad owned a business that was in one of those towers, and they were supposed to go in that day, and then at the last minute decided not to because they wanted to go look at purchasing a car, and so it was kind of one of these emotional decisions. Well, we'll just go into work. His dad owned the company; he could do what he wanted, and they didn't go. And everybody who worked for him died.
Oh,
in
Jesus.
the thing.
Imagine
and it was
that.
just working through the shock of that, and there's a guilt there that
Survivor's guilt, yeah.
survivor's guilt. Why did they? And,
Why did
and,
it happen? Yeah.
it was just crazy,
Oh,
crazy business. So, let's get back to the cigar for a minute
yeah.
because we're already over 30 minutes into the podcast, if you can believe it.
Whoa.
What has it changed at all for you? Are you still enjoying it?
Yeah.
Is it still burning good? Is it still pairing well with the Buffalo Trace? What do you think?
I mean, the cigar and the drink has gotten better over the course of 30 minutes that we've been recording. I mean, it's true estate, man. I've, other than the exception of having that bad Robusto yesterday, which, I mean, in any cigar that you're going to pick up, whether it be a Padron, whether it be a 724, whether it be a Perdomo, I mean, you're going to run into one bad stick. And I don't mean bad in a, this thing is garbage or whatever. There's always going to be something wrong with it. It's handmade.
It's a handmade product. Yeah.
It's
There could
understandable.
be
I understand
things
that.
that
Some
go
people out there don't understand that. But, I mean, they're handmade products. It's understandable. But, I mean, this is Drew Estate, man. I've never really had a bad Drew Estate. I mean, the other undercrowns, the Undercrown 10s, the Hoyas.
I love
I
the
mean,
10s, yeah.
all of them, man. The Papa Frito, even the acids, which I'm not a big fan of. I mean, they make a good cigar, and this is no exception. This is a great cigar, and it pairs very well with the Buffalo Trace. You know what I mean?
Got a message from Rod.
Rod,
Yeah.
what we got, baby?
He said, "Good evening, memorializing 9/11 today. Gender Newfoundland is a 3.5-hour drive from here, and many planes landed there on 9/11. They actually made a musical out of it called Come From Away, and it did really well on Broadway. He was arguing a case in court when it happened. So during the morning recess, someone told them about it, and the judge turned on the TV, and they adjourned for the day."
Huh.
Cool, man. Cool, baby.
That's just more proof that even out of the country, people, knew can remember what they were doing when that happened. It
Yeah.
was a major event. So I'm enjoying the cigar. I think it's good. It's the first time I've had it. I definitely smoke it again.
Yeah, of course.
Like you said. I mean, now that said, anything that says Liga Privada on it, people just freaking run out to get.
Yeah.
And people are always asking for
There's some
it.
fanboys out
And,
there.
yeah, well, this is one of those, excuse me, brands where,
Well, that's one of those things where people will be like, "You got any Liga?" And you're like, "No, not today," and they'll walk out. You know what I mean? Like it's that you got that kind of a following with it. It's crazy.
Yeah.
it's that, and it's that even if the cigar, was, not that great, you put a Liga band on it, and all of a sudden everybody wants it. You know what I mean? It's
True.
The brand has that kind of pull.
Yeah,
I'm not saying,
absolutely.
don't get me wrong, that's not what they do, but
If they did, they would still sell.
It would still sell. Yeah. I mean, you think
But at the
about
same
it.
time, that's got to be nerve-wracking, you know? Because if they don't come up with something that the massive majority of people,
Yeah.
they don't know the palettes of.
Well, I'm
You
pretty
know,
sure.
they're gonna-
I mean, at this point, I'm pretty sure that they have people's palates kind of
Dialed in.
dialed in at this point. But I mean, yeah, I guess you can probably say that there is some pressure in the company or on Mr. Drew himself about what's going to be coming out next. What's the next thing? Is it going to be the best thing? Is it going to jump in with the legal line? Is it going to be another size or flavor of an undercrown, or is it going to be another Hoya or acid? I mean, obviously, running a company, you got to have that responsibility. There's got to be some pressure on them. You know what I mean? But I mean, they've been doing it pretty damn well since Liga's been coming out. So, I mean, keep it going, baby. Keep it going.
All right. We ready to do the pipe?
Let's kick it.
Switch over to the pipe tobacco.
Let's give it the old
And-
switcheroo.
We are doing this. This is the 703 Briary Blend. 703. I can't
sick.
talk today.
603
I can't
Briary
talk
Blend,
today.
603 Roast.
724 Briary Blend, 603 Roast. Dang it. There it is. It is the fifth and final blend that is coming out in the Briary Blend series, at least for right now. And let me read you what it says on the tin. Named for the New Hampshire state area code 603 Roast, is an aromatic made with a traditional black Cavendish and Dominican cigar leaf with notes of a smoky, sweet cream, dark
bad.
cocoa, and espresso. It's manufactured for 724 by Cornell and Deal. It was blended by Jeremy Reeves. Certainly an aromatic pipe tobacco, Cavendish and Dominican cigar leaf, chocolate and coffee flavorings. It's a ribbon cut tobacco. And I am not a big aromatic guy. I don't smoke a lot of aromatics, period. I was a cigar smoker before I was a pipe smoker. And, you know, so I want to taste tobacco. And then combine that with when I do have aromatic tobaccos, very often there's kind of this artificial waxy kind of flavor that you get on the finish, you know, as you're smoking it. So even if you're getting the flavor of the tobacco, whether it's cherry or hazelnut or coffee
it's
or
almost
whatever.
like that kind of thing you get from like an artificially flavored drink. You know, when it's like saccharin or something like that, you get like that medicine-y type thing. But it's different. But it's like the, you know what I mean?
It's like the wax from, like, you remember those lip candies that you had growing up?
I was just thinking
you know?
that.
It's that kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's that kind of thing.
I got
and
you.
this doesn't have that to me.
It doesn't. I was very
This
hesitant
doesn't
on it.
have that to me. And you know, a lot of aromatics, you know, frankly, and maybe it's because of the chemical process or whatever that a lot of companies use or whatever, because it ain't natural in there. I'd get headaches. You know, it's just not enjoyable for me. But I can smoke this. I taste the coffee. I get that little hint of cocoa in there, but you can taste the tobacco. I don't get that waxy aftertaste. It's very creamy. It's very nice, and it's just a really good aromatic tobacco. To me, anyway.
Wow, this is, you know, I'm pretty surprised. This is the first time I've had this.
Really?
Yeah, I haven't had it. I was kind of, like I said, I was hesitant. I'm not a coffee guy. I'm a big chocolate guy, but I'm not a coffee guy, and I'm kind of do aromatics once in a while. I mean,
Yeah, I'm not a big aromatic guy.
I've done, you know what I mean. And the autumn evening is not really. I don't really consider autumn evening a aromatic. But yeah, I mean, I don't. I mean,
Why not? It definitely is.
I know it is. I just don't consider it. It doesn't smoke like an aromatic though.
Right.
That's
it
the
doesn't
thing.
give you that. That's another one of those tobaccos that does not give me the waxy
lip
aftertaste.
I mean, it doesn't smoke like an aromatic, even though I know what it is. But I mean, it doesn't ghost your pipe either. So you can smoke that, and then usually right after I'm smoking a really nice English blend. So it's really, really pleasant. But this one is really nice. I mean, like I said, I was
Picked a
hesitant.
good pipe for it too. Like I usually smoke it out of my church warden.
Yeah.
And I didn't even think about bringing it. And I wish I did because that's what I usually smoke.
Well,
it.
I haven't broke out the
Why?
old
Why do you
4th
like
gen.
it in the church warden?
I like it because the length of the stem cools it down, and you get more of that mocha flavor. Where I feel like if you smoke it out of a shorter pipe, you lose some of that mocha flavor.
Yeah.
You get more of more of the tobacco notes instead of like the mocha.
And being a candy man, you want the
Mocha.
How do you think it goes with the bourbon?
Interesting. Something that I didn't really notice when I was smoking the Liga is it kind of gives you almost a sweeter, deeper chocolate note. Like right in the finish is there's a, and obviously it's,
To me, it makes the drink sweeter.
yeah, I mean, it makes the drink sweeter, but there's a really deep chocolate note in the finish, right in the kind of the back of your throat and your tongue, right in the back of your palate. It's like a really dark chocolate tone right there, right in the back of it. It's really nice.
Yeah, when you draw on the pipe after drinking.
Yeah.
I mean, because that's what I'm getting. I totally agree with that. Yeah, that's very, very good.
That's nice. That's nice. I mean, they play well together. You know what I mean? It's very pleasant. I'm not shocked because Jeremy does a damn good job of blending his tobaccos. I mean, he is a master.
Yeah.
And it's just it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. Jeremy, if you're watching, I love you.
Now, I feel like I have to explain why I'm so freaking off tonight.
Go ahead, let the people know.
I'm gonna let you know because I want to talk about some stuff related to it anyway. So we had a round of thunderstorms come in last week, Friday,
Thunder out right now.
and around where I lived, it was particularly bad, and there were a lot of people, including myself, who lost power, and we didn't have power for over 24 hours. It was about
Wow.
30 hours that we didn't have power, and we ended up that night because I had to work Saturday, and we were meeting with friends, and there's a hotel right next door,
Yep.
which has a great rate if you're with twins. So it was like just about half off for me. So we went and got a room, stayed there, and that was fun for the family. And we were able to stay in an air-conditioned place. And if it weren't so stinking humid and hot and sticky, probably would have made it work. I mean, we have a generator in the house, but there's only so many things you can hook up to it, and so we went there, and we were supposed to have power restored the next morning. Then it was that afternoon, and then they were saying Sunday.
Oh,
And now I'm working as a what they're calling a bridge pastor, somebody who's working as a pastor at a church between pastors for that church, and down in Watertown, Massachusetts, and I decided that instead of trying to make things work at my house, and instead of spending more money on the hotel, I would go down to one of my friends who goes to this church in Watertown and stay the night there. So, bad night's sleep the night before. The kids in the hotel, they had my wife and girls, they loved things cold. Okay? They had that thing. the hotel had to be like 60 degrees. I mean, it was, an
pretty
air
cold.
conditioned 60 degrees is cold. And on the bed that I was in, it was one king size bed. They brought up one of those trundles, which is fine. It was perfect for me, but it was like one blanket, and
Danny
it
needed-
was like
Danny needed like 3 blankets.
I like woke up in the middle of the night, freezing. I actually got dressed and went back to bed, and then I'm like, okay, now I'm kind of comfortable, and I don't have to get dressed in the morning.
There you go.
You
You
know?
just roll out of bed.
But bad night's sleep that night. Then had a big huge pipe club here at work on Saturday.
Yep.
Then drove down to Watertown. Didn't get there until like 9 o'clock. Get settled in. Talk. So it happened to be some guys came over to smoke cigars. I brought cigars. So we had a good time doing that. But and even though I had my stuff, you're in a new place, new bed. It's different. I just didn't sleep all that great. And then, you go and do the church the next morning. The church was hot. It was stuffy, and so everything was off. I didn't have my time to prepare like I like. I wasn't able to do any of my normal routines. Everything was just, and so I got here today, and even though I got a solid 8 hours last night, it just was like not enough.
You were still
And
off.
just off. Everything was off, and I'm still off, and I can't even say 724. It pisses me off.
Ah, you said it right there.
I did, but it's like, it's interesting how, I'm one of the things I've been learning about myself is that I'm very much a creature of routine, and if I can't have my routine, things get anxious.
Yeah,
You
you
know, I
start
don't
messing up.
You
I
start
don't like
you start
losing my
messing up.
routine either.
you know.
Especially when it's unplanned. Yeah.
Well, do you ever plan to screw up your routine, Dave?
Well,
it's
if
always
you
unplanned.
if you plan to like go on vacation or something like that, or you plan to like go out for the night, and you break your normal routine, like that kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like when you lose electricity, you have to go there and stuff like that would
Yeah.
frustrate the crap out of me.
And like I got to church. I made sure I was there early so I could have time again to prepare. But because I wasn't at my house and didn't think about everything because I was all flustered, I didn't have my keys to the church. The people who were supposed to open the church that morning were late, so it was. So I'm sitting in my car, and it just
Just didn't feel right.
just wasn't.
Wasn't right.
So you're
Wasn't-
hot, you're sticky.
and your car doesn't have
And
AC.
my car doesn't have AC. So, even though you're all set and ready to go, got your shower, you're all clean when you leave the house.
Oh.
By the time you get there, it's like, oh, this is starting to get wet. Oh, but I'll be able to go into the church. No, couldn't go into the church, and just it was just bad. And I went home, after all that, and got into my recliner, made sure the AC was on, and I just sat there comatose for like 2.5 hours. Oh my gosh, it was so bad,
Oh man.
so bad. But what do you guys do when you lose power at your house or whatever? Is that something you end up making like a fun time for yourself or something? Are you all prepared for it? Are you freaking out when that happens? What do you guys do when you lose power?
Oh, nothing really.
Nothing.
I mean, there was. I can't remember. Most of the time that I lose power, it's during the day, and I'm here. So our fridges and our freezers are good for at least 48 hours to keep everything cold. So I mean, not really worried there. But if it's like hot, heavy, hot and hazy and stuff like that, the dog's got no AC, so it's a little bit worrisome there. But as far as that is concerned, like if me and the wife are home, I don't know, we'll probably break out a board game or something. You know what I mean? The only other time that we didn't lose power, we ran out of oil and it was like the coldest night. It was one of the coldest nights, and I was here, and I was just closing up, and the wife's like, "There's no hot water," or she's like, "I just took a shower, and there was just enough hot water, and it was going cold," and I was like, "No." So I rushed home, looked at the level on the tank, and it was nothing. I mean, it was running on fumes. And I was like, oh my God. And it was, I mean, it was snowing. It was probably, I think it was like -2 out. And I had no clue what to do, which now I do. I can go to the gas station and get diesel.
Yep.
And I called that night to do an emergency, to have somebody come out and do an emergency fill. I called every company in New Hampshire and in Massachusetts, and nobody said that they'd be able to come out that night. And everybody was like, oh, we're like next day, day after, because that was happening to everybody at the time. So I was like, oh my God. Like, and I called one guy, and he's like, Nick, he's like, I can't get out there tonight, but I can get out there in the morning. He's like, you know what to do. Just go and get diesel. I'm like, what do I do with diesel? He's like, man, you can fill your tank with diesel. And I was like, okay.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
I
the
didn't know that.
It's the exact same stuff, only
Different color, yeah. And they do a different color, so I didn't know. So I went out and got like 2 or 3 gallons. No, I got like 5 gallons of diesel to get us through the night. And he came out literally. He was there at 8 in the morning. He filled the tank, and I was like, oh my God, thank God. But like, yeah, that was pretty bad. I'll never let it get that low again. I'll never get it that low again.
Yep. No, I remember running into that when I was on oil. I'm on propane now,
Check it out.
so same kind of thing.
But check it out. Hold on, Dave. But check it out. This, what was it? It was actually, yes, this past time that I went in July to Puerto Rico, they had a small storm, but nothing crazy. But it was in the eastern part of the island, and we lost power at the house. And we lost power for a day and a half. And we still had water and stuff, but I mean, there was no power, there was no AC, we couldn't turn on the fans, and it was hot. That sucked. I mean, getting drunk in a cool house is nice, but getting drunk, I mean, in a hot house, it sucks. And we lost power at night. And there was no fans. I mean, no fans, no
Did you
AC.
guys have couldn't you guys go swimming or something? Or?
So we could have done that, but what we did is everybody went outside to the deck because the house inside was so hot. Outside felt really cool. So I slept in the hammock. My wife went back to bed, and I slept in the hammock, and I got eaten alive by mosquitoes, dude. I was destroyed. My legs, my arms. Oh my God, it sucked so bad.
Literally.
It did. Literally, they did. They did a number on me. But that was the worst time of ever losing.
You just helped the population of mosquitoes by
Yeah.
a billion.
Yeah, I know all the pre-workout that they must have ingested. They're like, oh my God, let's go!
A whole bunch of Arnold Schwarzenegger mosquitoes.
Yeah, I know.
Nice.
They're all lifting people up and putting them down.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
But yeah, that was one of the worst times ever as far as losing power was in Puerto Rico, and it was just miserable. I mean, and down there too, like, I mean, you can't keep the fridge open. I mean, the fridge is down there, I mean, because it's so hot. If you're getting like a beer or something like that, make sure you get like 10 beers and then close the fridge real quick, because I mean, the humidity and the heat will just
Suck it away.
Exactly. As soon as you open it up, it just sucks out all the cold air. It's crazy. So, you just got to be really careful and conscious. Most of your drinks are going to be, you're drinking warm beer, or I don't care. I'm drinking warm whiskey and stuff too, so I don't care. But yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Dave?
Yeah, just play board games or something like that. Yep. Read a book. Yep.
Can read a book, yeah.
Read a book.
What about when it's dark, Dave?
Tablet. Got my tablet, which is nice. Says battery lasts forever. I freaking love it. I probably charge that tablet that we use for the show like once a month. Like the battery on that thing, it's just insane. I'm like, I don't know how big the battery is, but it must be ginormous because it just doesn't. I can play, you can play Xbox on it and stream it, and it'll
There you
go.
go.
I'll play it for a couple hours and it'll go down by like 10%. It's crazy good.
Very nice. Very nice. Very nice.
We had an ice storm a few years back. Remember this in March?
Yeah,
A
I
few
do.
years back. That was another big power loss for a lot of people. And we didn't have power for almost a week.
Yeah.
And that was
man.
one of the times I was real glad that the house was built in the 1780s.
Yeah. You can just throw some
Because-
fireplaces on, right?
Exactly. The house was designed to be heated
by
by
fireplace.
fireplace, and so we did things that way. We cooked over the fires and everything, and the first day or two
Yeah, but
of
your
that.
fireplaces were meant to be cooked in too, so it's
Yep.
easy
Yeah.
to do that.
Well, the first couple nights we did that, the girls were all like, "Oh, this is great! This is like playing, this is like right out of Little House on the Prairie
We're
or
glamping.
something." And by day 3, they were like, "This
sucks.
I'm done. I'm done with this.
This sucks.
Yeah, I don't want any more cast iron food."
I mean, as
I
long as it's,
I could have done it forever.
yeah, as long as it's food, man.
give
I
me
don't care.
steak, sausage. Egg, you cooking that over the
Oh.
fire. That
That so good.
it was
Beautiful.
great.
Oh,
That's a beautiful thing,
Yep.
man.
But that was tough. I think I think it was 5.5 days without any power,
Yeah, a lot of people
and
lost
nobody
it,
had
man.
any power. So
Yep.
I think since I moved to Derry, I think I've lost power for at most maybe a half a day.
Yeah.
At
Well,
most.
Derry has a pretty good grid. I mean,
Well, they have a hospital there, so it's,
well, yeah, you have to have the infrastructure has got to be on
But,
point. I mean,
like,
the
our
police
whole-
department is down the street
I
from
think
you guys.
everything on my street is underground. So.
Yes, well, you are near. I mean, all the shopping mall. I mean, Walmart's there. You got Hannaford's. You got
I'm
the
right
all the
behind
liquor
Walmart.
store. Yeah, I mean, you're right there. So I mean, you're in a good
Nice.
spot. I mean, for the people that are on the outskirts of Derry and Londonderry when they're in the woods, I mean,
Oh, you don't have to go far, man, before you start hitting the
no,
woods.
right,
Mhm.
and that for us too, because we live where we live pretty deep in the woods too. So, I mean, our grid is it's weird because it would be like the other day, this Friday, Danny lost power. I didn't lose power because I was checking my cameras and everything in the house, and I'm like, well, we didn't lose power. So, but it'd be sometimes the wind there would be a slight breeze coming through and would lose power for an hour. And it's crazy. I don't know. The grid over there is really crazy. But it's nuts because I remember one time in the morning, I woke up to go to the gym, and I was going to the gym in Epping, and I had power. We had the lights on and everything, and I drive down the street, and nothing is on. I mean, there's trees down. There's lines down, and people had no power. You can hear the generators while you're driving. And it's like, what the hell happened here? Like, it's crazy. Because I had power. My next door neighbor had power. So it's weird that way. The town is very weird. So I'm grateful.
yep,
I'm grateful.
yep. What's the final thoughts here on the pipe tobacco?
It's damn good, man. I mean,
It's definitely my
It
favorite aromatic
smells-
that we have.
the room note smells like an aromatic, but when you're smoking it, you're like,
You can taste that.
yeah.
that
Well, that's what I
Dominican
mean. It's
tobacco.
like this is like you actually get to taste what you're smelling of the room there, and it's so nice.
somebody's tired.
Yep, I'm tired.
We're all tired. It's all past our bedtime. It's all past our bedtime.
It's true today. I'll let you know that. But I'm excited about next week. We're gonna do the Aroa Dark 1118.
I had that cigar the other day. It was pretty damn good.
It was pretty good. Yep. And we're gonna be doing a Kendall Dark Classic Cut, which is a shag.
Yeah, baby.
And not new, of course, from Go with Hogarth, but new
Right.
to us, new to Twins.
Yep.
And so it's kind of, looking at the two dark things next week. Dark Friends.
Yes.
It's gonna be a dark episode.
It's going to be a dark episode.
Probably going to be
next
dark
week,
out.
See if we can maybe get some dark rum.
and that would be good.
That would be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
See if we got some dark rum up there.
We'll have to look at that.
Yes.
We're going to go look and see what we got for dark rum. But that's it for tonight. And we'll see you next week, next Monday. And that is not just blowing smoke.
Stay
better or
smoky, my
worse.
friends. Yeah, for better or worse. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.